Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to check out this 2022 Nissan Altima 2.5 all-wheel drive. It also has the Midnight Edition package, finished off in a really nice gray, and it has an MSRP just over $31,000. And to start off today's review, let's look at what powers this Altima. Underneath the hood is the 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine paired to the CVT transmission. It pumps out 188 horsepower around 6,000 RPM and 180 pound-feet of torque around 3,600 RPM. As I mentioned earlier, this is all-wheel drive. It weighs in right around 3,300 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds, up to its top speed of 119 miles an hour, and it has a fuel capacity of 16.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 27 miles per gallon in the city and 37 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 111.2 inches. Its overall length is 192.9. It has a width of 72.9, a height of 56.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.1 inches. And now as we move on to the exterior styling for this Nissan Altima, having the Midnight Edition package means that the entire grille is blacked out along with the surround, giving it a really cool contrast, especially against this exterior gray. This model also has LED headlights with the LED DRLs on the inner side of the housing. The turn signal is actually located in the lower section of the bumper along with the LED fog lights. More black surrounds that trim in the lower section as well. And there's really nice contoured lines running throughout the front end. They're in the lower section of the bumper, as well as the lines that run from the A-pillars and the middle of the hood all the way to the top section of the bumper, just giving it a really cool sporty design for the sedan. The Nissan badge is also front and center, and this is also a forward-facing sensor, so it's nicely incorporated. There's also plenty of cutouts in this grille to provide a lot of cooling to that engine. And then as we move on to the side profile with that Midnight Edition package, it gets a really nice set of 19-inch wheels, finished off in gloss black, of course, with a multi-spoke design. This has gloss black on the side mirrors, which also have the integrated turn signal. This has a sunroof, as well as more gloss black surrounding the window trim. And there's even more great contoured lines running down the side profile. Just above the fender flares up front, you can see that line just above the door handles going all the way to the taillights. There's also more gloss black just behind the rear door and a little bit of chrome in the lower section, but that gloss black makes its way all the way to the window, just flowing very nicely. And for the rear end of this Altima, it does have a trunk mounted wing that is finished off in gloss black. There's the Midnight badge along with SR. This does have a backup camera as well as all the parking sensors that are in the lower section with a dual exhaust, some fins in that lower diffuser just to add to more of that sporty design. The Altima and all-wheel drive badge are also blacked out as well. So that's a look at the exterior for this Nissan Altima. Let's work our way to the cargo area. Now I can hold the button on the key fob, which just releases the trunk, of course, or I can push on the electronic button up underneath. And with this opened, there is a lot of space for this family sedan. There's huge cutouts on the driver and passenger side so that items can go in sideways if needed. And then the back seats do fold down as well. Simply just pull on these on both sides, and with those down, there's a lot more room for any items that you'd like to place. Really no overhangs either, so you can definitely pack this full of items. And then up underneath the floor, there's a little bit of storage as well as the spare tire tools, and up underneath this is the spare tire. So there's definitely a lot of space up underneath the floor if you need to utilize that. And with the lightweight trunk, makes it really easy to close. And now we can move on to these back seats. And with this door open, the door panel has a really nice design. There's leather and red stitching on the armrest, as well as carbon fiber-like trim surrounding the window control. A little bit of storage in the lower section of the door, and one of these 6 speakers. You can tell there's some brush trim on the release handle as well. There is some plastic on the upper section. And at 5'10", it's time to work my way into these back seats, where they have a really nice two-tone design, as well as more of that stitching. I have the front seat set at my height, and you can tell there's plenty of room for my feet and my legs. And I have around 1 inch or so above my head, so it is spacious for your backseat passengers. Right in the middle is the armrest, as well as 2 cup holders if you need to use them. And this even has a USB and a USB-C down below, so that way you can charge some electronics from these back seats. And like I mentioned earlier, they do fold down. They have a 60-40 split. And from this angle, you can just get another look at the amount of interior storage that you do have for this Nissan Altima. Now, before we work our way to the front seats, this does have remote start. So if I lock it and then hold this button on the upper section, this will automatically start up. which is a cool feature to have if you need to use that. If I hold on it again, it will shut off, and then you can use the button to lock and unlock it, of course. You can also use the button on the back of the door handle to lock and unlock the vehicle. And on the door panel, it has a really nice design, just like the rear. However, there's even more of that carbon fiber-like trim, more leather and stitching on the back section, all of the window controls, lock and unlock, and the side mirror adjustments, even more storage space in the lower section of the door. And then moving on to these front seats, same as the rear ones, really nice design to them. They are automatic, so all those adjustments are down on the side. And this is a low car. It has a low door sill. You do have to step over and down to hop in. The door, as you can tell, opens very wide, so it makes it easy to enter and exit. And the steering wheel is completely covered in solid black leather, more of that stitching, just to give it a really nice design, as well as having a flat bottom design too. But let's fire this back up. With my foot on the brake, that button is over by the shifter, and we can bring this to life. And looking at this gauge cluster, on the left side is the tach as well as the engine temperature. On the right side is the miles per hour and the fuel gauge. And right in the middle, there's a lot more information to go through using these buttons over on the right side of the steering wheel. Over on the left side is all the cruise control settings as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. And then on this left side are tuning for the radio as well as the volume. And then all of these will go through that information. So currently it's showing miles per hour. If I scroll down, you can see the speed along with your average, and then there is a blank page. Now if I scroll over to the right, there's the fuel economy as well as tire pressure, and you can see on the right side it will show you if there's more than one page. So on the second page is trip information. There's also the radio. You can look at your forward collision along with your lane keeping and the blind spot. And then the last one, there are a lot of different settings to go through for your driver assistance. So if I click on this, this has emergency braking, the blind spot, parking aids, rear cross traffic alert, a lot of standard safety features, which is really helpful to go through. There's also the TPMS, clock, different vehicle settings, even the maintenance to monitor as well. So there's definitely a lot of settings to go through, and this is basically a calm screen that shows you the icons in the lower section. Really neat to be able to see that. And then moving on to the left side of the steering wheel, there's the fuel cap release down below as well as the trip reset. You can open the rear trunk as well as the dimmer switch for the gauges. There's one air vent along with some trim and stitching above that. This icon over by the side view mirror is actually the blind spot. So in most vehicles, it is on the glass itself, but on this one, it will turn orange if you do have a car in your blind spot. Really cool to see that it matches the stitching really nicely. There is leather on this gauge cluster top. And then right in the middle is the 8-inch touchscreen system. There's a lot of info to go through on the system. Right now it's currently on the home screen. I can scroll through all of the audio. These are basically all of the favorites. And in the lower section, all of this is fixed. So I can quickly get to the phone if that is paired and ready to go. We are back to the audio. Now if I do hit menu here, you can see those change slightly. So where we have the phone, we can go into that audio again where it pulls up all those settings. And then we also have connections. This is how you can pair your phone to this system along with using the Wi-Fi and the USB. And then back to menu, there's more information to go through, even settings that you can configure as well. So pretty helpful to have all of that. There's also a Bluetooth icon as well as a shortcut to the camera system where you can go through all of that information as needed. There's even a back arrow. Power and volume for the radio is on that left side with tuning on the right side. And then as you can see, there are two air vents just underneath that, as well as having the hazards. More of that trim runs right through the middle all the way to the passenger side. And then just underneath that are all the climate controls. They are nicely laid out with the fan speed on the driver's side, temperature is on the passenger side, and then right in the middle you can see where you like the air to go as well as having the AC. This even has heated seats with two different options. There's the front and rear defroster, so it's nicely laid out, very easy to use. Below that, there's a USB along with a USB-C, an auxiliary port, even a 12 volt, and a little bit of storage so you could place your phone there and charge it as well. And then there are two cup holders with more of that carbon fiber-like trim surrounding them. Over by the engine start stop, we have the leather wrap shifter with the release in the front. If I pull this one back, that will go into reverse where you can see the guidelines as well, just to give you some more visibility while you're backing up. We have drive, and then there is a low range gear as well. Even though this vehicle has a CVT transmission, it does have paddle shifters, and you can go through what appears to be the 8-speed on the center gauge cluster. I'll show that once we get this out on the road. Very interesting to see, but it does have paddle shifters that do work. We have the electronic parking brake down below, more leather on the center armrest. If I open this up, it has a good amount of room, as well as being able to turn on and off the interior ambient lighting. So that switch is located right there. Really cool to have that option for this model. And then over on the passenger side, definitely plenty of room in the glove box for all of that information. We'll take one last look at these seats, which have a great design to them. And like I mentioned earlier, this does have a sunroof, so we have the manual adjusting sunshade, as well as a control to be able to open and close the sunroof. There's the dome lights on both sides. This even has a sunglass holder as well, which is really convenient to see. So as we get this 2022 Nissan Altima out on the road, the first thing that I want to talk about is going back to this CVT transmission. On the window sticker, it clearly states that it has a CVT transmission. However, if I push on this left paddle, we are dropping all the way down into what would be third gear. And if I give it some gas into fourth gear, the tach will change, fifth gear, all the way up to what would be eighth gear. Very interesting to see that this is a CVT, yet you can change gears if needed. And so I don't know how many people would actually use those, but if you needed to, you could drop a couple gears, get a little bit more power if you need to pass or some situation like that. This even has a low range gear as well, so you can quickly go into the low range if you need to and use that for maybe lower speed situations, something like that. The second thing that I want to talk about is the visibility. So we're going to start off with that, and the fact that the visibility is okay. It's not the greatest behind my head. So in front of me, I can easily see pretty much all around. We have a thin A-pillar on both sides. We have the backup camera for your rear-facing visibility. However, looking through the rear view mirror, one, I can't see the entire deck lid, and two, what would be the third brake light is pretty much blocking most of my visibility. So I've had this for a few days, and driving around, even some pretty big SUVs are almost impossible to see looking through that rear view mirror. So it's a very odd design why they would have that so much higher. I can even see it above the middle headrest. So it's very bulky, very in the way. I don't think that's a good design for it. However, you know, with your side view mirrors, you can still see around. It's not a big deal. It just takes some getting used to the fact that I can't even see the grille on full-size vehicles. You can barely see the hood, you can see the windshield. Very interesting design. It's not going to deter you from buying this. It's just something that you have to get used to, having that behind you. With that said, this is a very nice sedan. It's been very comfortable and quiet for the time that I've had it so far. Not a whole lot of tech in that center screen, but it gives you everything that you need to make this a really great daily driving vehicle at a really good price point too. Just over $31,000. You're getting a bargain for a brand new vehicle, tons of space on the interior, and just a nice handling vehicle. It does have the sport suspension on it, but it's still a comfortable, smooth driving vehicle, especially on the road that I'm on right now. And I really don't have any other complaints with that. If you're just looking for a vehicle that will get you from point A to point B, this is a great option. Plenty of room in the back seats, as you could tell with me back there. Plenty of room in the cargo area as well. And we're gonna drop down a couple gears here and give it a little bit of gas. Now you can also opt for a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine. I'll have that review down in the description if you'd like to see that. With the base engine here, this is pedal to the floor from what would be second gear, and we are up to speed. So it's not incredibly quick. If you're getting out onto the highway, merging into traffic, you might be pedal to the floor in some of those situations, just depending on your start speed, like I was doing a small roll there. So if you want a little bit more power, you really like this vehicle, go with the turbo option. If that's not something that is important to you, fine engine, it gets up and moves. We were up to speed just like that. And so now switching over to the POV angle, let's take a look at visibility. It may be hard to tell with that bulge since there's no vehicles behind me, but aside from that, looking over my left and right shoulder, I can easily see around. So it's just that one area. Side view mirrors are going to do a great job as well. It's just that one area that is a little bit bulky. So as we get out on the road now, I'm going to use these paddles. So we are in what would be second gear, and we'll give it an acceleration with pedal to the floor. So that's pedal touching, and we are up to speed. As far as taking this around some turns, it actually handles very well. We have the all-wheel drive system, so if you need a vehicle that you can drive in some inclement weather, it's a great option to go with. I feel very comfortable going around turns at a little bit higher of a speed, even though this isn't performance oriented. It does really well with the suspension and with this all-wheel drive system. And as I mentioned earlier, it's very comfortable and quiet. This would be a great daily driver. If you're not interested in all of the bells and whistles, this gives you everything that you need with pretty much nothing overboard. So it's really nice if you're not into all of that technology. It's a great vehicle. You can hop in, you can drive, pair your phone, listen to music, go through all the climates, charge any electronics that you may have. And as we do a quick U-turn here, the maneuverability is really nice. So in parking lot situations, which this car will be in a lot, it's very maneuverable. And as we get up to speed again, it feels a little bit quicker in just normal drive. So when I wasn't using those paddle shifters, it did feel slightly quicker. Interesting to see that feedback. I really like all this carbon fiber like trim. Gives it a cool addition for this midnight package, which isn't that expensive. It's around $1,200 or so for the midnight package. You get the wheels, all of the black, obviously, some of this interior trim. This even has the ambient lighting, which is around $450. It's hard to show during the day, but there's a few color options that you can go through. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this 2022 Nissan Altima 2.5 SR all-wheel drive with this Midnight Edition package. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.